What's happening, my YouTube friends and family? Hope everyone's doing well. My 10-hour reset is just about over. I got one last leg of my California delivery. I got to run from Southern California up the 5 to Sacramento for a delivery later this morning. Well, tomorrow morning. It's still technically Thursday. I jumped on the load board real quick, not because I was planning on making a review, but just to see if the box truck loads had, refreshed and brought in a whole bunch of new ones. As looking at the Facebook groups, every other comment is, hey, does anyone know where I can find power only work? Hey, I don't find anything from my box truck. And I've kind of interacted with a few people trying to point them in different directions. And this is what I've been talking about in my videos, guys. The market with Amazon, everyone tends to watch YouTube videos of the success stories, and a lot of people aren't prepared for this. This comes every year. People that are veterans with Amazon will tell you every year after the Christmas push, it usually flows into January a couple months, and then it drops off till about July. And then August it starts to pick up, and then you get the Christmas season, and people they hear it, but they seem to think for some reason they're going to be immune or it's not going to affect them. And the other huge misconception is just because you have Amazon locations near you does not mean there's going to be a whole lot of work for you. Amazon is a network, and if you look at the load board more like a matrix, think of it in those terms. Like right now I'm in Southern California. A lot of your tours, as they call them, start and end in Southern California, or a major city that's in a region by itself. So, for example, Salt Lake City, Vegas, LA. And what happens is, people have asked me, hey Miguel, what's up with the LA market? We have an Amazon facility here. It's like, yeah, okay, there's a market there, but most of it is going to be tours where you grab an empty, you go down to LA, you grab a loaded one, and you come back. But the reality is, what's more than likely going to happen is a tour will leave from LA, taking a loaded trailer to Vegas, grabbing an empty one, going to Salt Lake City, dropping, and then picking up another one, going to Denver, and then back. And so the local guy in Vegas didn't get a bunch of that work because it originates in a bigger market. You have to think of it not just what your facility is gonna need, but you have to think of it in terms of the bigger picture, and where you receive bulk. And by that I mean what Amazon considers inbound freight. And so when I was doing Amazon work, this was the barometer I used. And I made a video where I kind of showed this before, right after Christmas. And, a lot of people didn't want to listen to it. But here's the barometer of what comes. So here I have it, 53-foot trailer, and I have it as trailer required, okay? So this is the type of work that I was doing. Now normally in peak season, when you do anywhere to anywhere, which is how I have it set now, you would find somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 to 3,000 loads just in that category. And as you can see, there's 551 loads. And so everybody else in the market, when I make this comment, thinks somehow that's not going to affect them. Well, when you guys are doing power only, you're typically moving Amazon trailers from an Amazon location to another Amazon location. And what that is, again, you have to think of the bigger picture or the matrix. So if I'm going to pick up, let's say, a truckload of televisions, a single facility is probably not going to use all of those televisions. But Amazon's not going to send a truck like mine to go pick up 10 TVs to take to the Las Vegas fulfillment center. They'll probably have someone like me pick up 300 TVs and take them to Ontario, and then from Ontario they'll put them on different trucks. 10 of them will go to San Diego, 10 of them will go to Phoenix, 10 of them will go to Vegas, 10 will go to Sacramento, and so on and so on. And so you guys that are moving power only to the different fulfillment centers are then distributing that stuff within the Amazon network. You guys doing box trucks are then hauling from a fulfillment center that received that power only load of varieties of different product from other locations, so that that fulfillment center has the inventory it needs to provide delivery to the local market, right? And so what I'm trying to say here is it's a supply chain. So trailer required feeds the machine, if you will, and then the machine distributes to other machines, and that's your trailer, your power only, if you want to call it that. And then your box trucks, even though now they're starting to use them a little bit to go between facility to facility, your box truck typically goes from a fulfillment center to a post office, which then that's part of what they call the last mile, right? And so when across the country you've only got 550 loads, that has a direct reflection. Having 550 loads today, guys, kind of means over the next couple weeks you're going to feel this. And so let's switch this from required to provided, and we're still talking about 53-foot box vans, 53-foot trailers. So there's 850. Now my typical math was you would take however many trailer required loads you had, you would typically multiply that by 1.5. So if you have 1,000 trailer required loads, there were typically 1,500 power only loads. And we're talking on a nationwide level, right? So the number's kind of in line, but it's still pretty low. we're talking anywhere to anywhere is what my filters are set, and I haven't set any revenue filters. This is all there is. Now granted, this does not include the early access because I haven't hauled a load for them. I don't have a score, so I can't look at that. And this also does not include stuff that's on blocks or contracts. You have to understand that this load board, the way I'm looking at it, is what they call spot market, or essentially overflow. There are people that have contracts with Amazon and their work is not on this board. So this board is the first to slow down, and those of you that are just looking to get into Amazon, this is where your work's going to be. You basically get the leftovers that contracts and blocks did not handle. And so now if we look at the box truck side of things, they all have a direct reflection, and trying to make sure I don't have a filter that's gonna jack that up. You know, there's 192. Now again, someone kind of informed me that Thursday nights was when this load board, or this, refreshed itself. It's not quite midnight yet, and so does that mean in another hour there's going to be 1,000 loads back in here? I kind of hope so for your guys' sake. But this is the way the board looks now, and unfortunately my clock is about to reset, so I'm not going to be able to, you know, in another hour or two sit here and try and make a video. But for those of you that are in Amazon now, if you're new to this, it's that time of year and panic sets in. People are going to start accepting the cheapest loads, and they're not going to let them mature and go up. That's kind of, if you want to call it, it's kind of a threat. Be aware. I would definitely consider looking other places for work, whether it's, you know, power only, or you go rent a trailer and this kind of thing. The other reason I do watch it, it has a direct reflection on the market I service, because a bunch of people that haul for Amazon are right about now looking at other load boards to see where they can go get work. And so that creates an immediate reaction in other load boards when you suddenly get in one market, in one area, 50 trucks that go from, we're hauling Amazon power only, and now we're flooding the load board, you know, for power only in the same market somewhere else. It has wide-reaching effects, especially when you look at the numbers in this way. It makes people panic. It's concerning, right? For those of you that are just looking to get into Amazon, this is a tough time to start. And I've said it to several people, and I've said it on the videos, you know, the best time to start is towards the end of the year. That's when Amazon is in peak season. That's when the rates are better. That's when they kind of pull out all the stops to make sure they're properly inventoried to fulfill those needs. Anyways, guys, it really wasn't my intention to do a full review right now, mainly because, like I say, I gotta hit the road. And so this was going to be short and quick, but this is where I am now. And as you can see, in the LA market, it calls it Harupa Valley. Basically, I'm like 10 miles from ONT 4, 5, and 6. I'm at a truck stop. My choice was either I park here or I try to get to the other side of LA and find a truck stop over there. I just found it easier because it was early enough in the day to stop here. I wasn't sure if I had enough hours to make it to Bakersfield, and so being that I stopped so early, my clock's going to reset here in another half hour or so, and I still got to run off to Sacramento. But you know, there's no loads for your box trucks available as of right now. Even if I widen out the radius, let's see if it shows anything. Still nothing. The closest ones are up in San Jose, Vacaville. That's all Northern California. But of course, today and tomorrow is supposed to be when this particular part of the load board, all of next week's loads are supposed to hit, you know, in the next little bit here. Anyway, and so if we look at LA as a whole, there's 282 loads available here. Which isn't great for the LA market. There's some loads going out to Texas, pretty cheap by West Coast standards. I've made that same run from the LA market out to Brookshire. Brookshire is actually over there by Katy, Texas, outside of Houston. I've made that same run for about $5,200. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out, guys. The load board for Amazon is looking thinner and thinner every day. If you're a member in any of the groups on Facebook, I'm sure you're hearing the comments, reading the comments is what I should say. Everyone's complaining how dry the load boards look. It's easy to look at it, for me anyways, and see that it's definitely slowed. There's definitely a swing in the side of it being thin right now. If you're, in my opinion, if you're on the fence and you're just about to buy a truck, or you're just about to make that big down payment for insurance, I would consider holding off. And I've been saying it for a while. Look for brokers and other people that will use you as a new authority, so you have a backup plan. Don't make your entire marketing campaign one word: Amazon. Anyway, I gotta roll, guys. I still haven't showered. I'm supposed to be leaving here at midnight. So I'll see if when I'm getting unloaded in Sacramento, it's just rolls of paper. It's 6 huge rolls of paper in my truck, and so they should unload me pretty quick. But I'll see when I'm unloading. I'll dive back into the load board and see if hopefully a bunch of loads have been added to the load board. If so, I'll try and record something then and upload it later. But as always, thanks for watching.